Whoa, whoa, whoa. What a day. I tell you what, I haven't been out all day because it's been raining here. I didn't have nothing else to do, so I thought I'd just stay in. And all of a sudden, I was supposed to go out today, but
Yeah.
it was raining out there and everything. But there you go. I'm in, and now I've got a guest, Adrian Dobson. And I'm what can I say? I used to be a skeptic about these things. Even though I'm a Christian person, I used to be a skeptic. And but the trouble is, I do believe now in the spirit realm, and I really do. Hello, Adrian. How are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Brilliant. Really good. Really good. I tell you what. My friend of mine laughs at me because he goes around like ghost hunting,
Yeah.
right? Different places and stuff, right?
Mm.
And he said to me one day, he said, Steve, I want you to do a live on your program about ghost hunting because I want to prove to you that they're a ghost. And I said, yeah, all right then. Let's go along and do it. So anyway, we go live and I'm there going, I'm just lying on my sofa, drinking a Coke and everything. And then all of a sudden I could hear a strange noise. And all of a sudden, no joking all of a sudden it appeared. Now, and I said to him, it's just a kind of like a machine doing it. And I'm like, what? He says, please believe me, it's not. And what it was actually a ghost. I
Now, I've
couldn't
got some
believe it.
bad
It
news
was,
for you, Steve.
sorry?
I've got bad news for you.
What's that?
That wasn't a ghost.
What was it then?
Spirit.
Right, okay, okay.
That's thrown
Now,
you, hasn't
that has
it?
thrown me. That has thrown me because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, also on my notes, right up here, I've got my notes up in the at the top there.
Yeah.
It says, "What's the difference between ghosts and spirits?"
There you go. A ghost is residual energy of something or someone that used to be there. A spirit is the spirit of someone and they still are there.
Right, right. So a ghost is that a, a ghost could be some sort of is that something to do with the evil then?
No, not at all. I can prove to you that your ghost will be where you're sat if you moved
Right,
for at least a few seconds. Okay?
right.
How that works is when you stare at something that's in one place, then you move it, the image of that thing is still there, the outline.
Yeah,
That is the ghost, that is the residual energy of what was there. Now, when we read these stories, you've heard the stories about the monk that walks through the pub, goes the same way every week, always reading the Bible, always reading the same page of the Bible, never moves his head any other way, it's always the same. That's because once upon a time there was a monk that took that passage every day and it left his energy behind. Now, if it
right.
was a ghost, ghosts can do what they want within reason, same as we can do what we want
Yeah,
within
yeah,
reason.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, if that monk was a ghost, he could have stopped halfway across, turned left, gone and sat down, had a pint, so
Hmm.
to speak. But he won't
Yeah.
because it's the residual energy of the monk, not the actual spirit of the monk.
But as see, the trouble is, I brought this up last time with you, and a lot of people are kind of like asking me to bring it up, and I think it's kind of like, no, I'm not. I don't want to bring it up, and then next minute I do. So I'm just going to say it as it is to you.
Say
And people are saying now, they're saying to me, well, all this mediumship, right? People are saying it's a load of rubbish, right?
okay, cool.
No, that was me. That was me a while back. But now I'm saying, if you think this is mediumship is rubbish, I think you need to kind of like go and get your head seen to because it's definitely not. And now that is me. That is me saying that because
Mm.
while back, I want to send anything. My wife would tell you.
Yeah,
I thought all this ghost thing, all this medium shit. I thought it was load of poo. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
But I don't know more. But you got to admit there are some people out there who uh, who are fake,
Yes,
right? So then
yes.
when they're fake, they actually put you people down, don't they?
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
So
There are a lot of fakes out there. There are what we, yeah, there are fake mediums out there, and fake mediums are not normally mediums, are normally fake psychics. Uh, they, for want of a better word, they lead people into answers and questions.
right,
Okay, or they'll give something that anybody can take.
right,
It's like the old joke about the no disrespect to the Irishman. Paddy, do you know what? Oh, forget it. I forgot the joke. But anyway, uh, no. If you're a man and you've got a wife, then you're heterosexual. If you've got a wife, chances are you can have kids. If you've got kids, chances are you can have a pet. If you've got a pet, chances are, and chances are, and chances are. Do you understand what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Well, I'm going to ask you something, Steve. Do you understand somebody called John?
yeah,
Thank you. Do you understand somebody called Margaret?
yeah.
Thank you. Do you understand a birthday in the middle of August, but it could be the end of August or the beginning of August?
I do.
There you go. That's not me talking to spirit. That's not me being a medium.
Right, John's my brother.
Well, nearly everybody knows a John. Nearly
Yeah,
everybody knows a Margaret, and there's bound to be somebody that's got a birthday either beginning, middle, or end of August.
well, look, listen, John. I've got a brother called John.
Yeah,
Right, Margaret used
yeah,
to be my ex-wife.
yeah,
Right, and the 13th of August is my dad's birthday.
yeah. That's right. Maybe it is. But that was me cutting myself off from spirit just to ask you them questions. They're leading
Right,
questions. Yeah.
right.
Now, if I was to say to you, do you, do you understand a gentleman that there was an injury to the bottom of his leg? I want to go back a generation, or yeah, one generation, and there was fears that he may have lost his leg through injury. I feel it would have been
Right.
crushed. Do you understand this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. That's me talking to spirit. That's me being more direct, more precise, and giving you information that's relevant to you. How many people know somebody that's had the leg crushed and still got the leg?
That was my
How many?
dad's brother.
There you go. That's the difference. Yeah.
Gosh. So when so it's no trickery in that then. So you don't go out looking for a see people go say people say, oh, mediums they go out looking for information about you, they search you. But you didn't know that, did you?
No, no. I've not searched you. I don't know about your uncle or your granddad or your dad or anybody.
Hmm.
Yeah. See, what you got to understand as well, some people will only work certain places. And them certain places have got certain people. And them certain people they'll have seen before other mediums giving messages to. And then they'll go to them and give them the same message. And it's wow. Okay. When you look at my profile, I've worked all over north of England, all over North Wales, I've worked in South Wales. I've done readers in America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, Spain, France, and South Africa. I haven't met anybody, or put it this way, I've probably met about 1% of them people. More than once.
No. What I'm trying to say to you,
You know what I
is
mean?
like, yeah. I did my research about you because I always do, because that's the way I do things.
That's right. Yeah.
But if I think you were a bit bogus or anything, you won't be on here. No, honestly,
Thank you.
you won't be.
Yeah, trust me, I'm a vicar.
Well, I don't care you're a vicar or not. But no, shush. No, I didn't mean to say that, Lord.
Yeah.
Um,
Vicars are about as trustworthy as police.
no.
That's what somebody said to me the other week.
I've really had a good friend who was a vicar, and he was a very good vicar, but he died of cancer and stuff and the cats.
Oh, bless him. Yeah.
And I've got a nice vicar now a pastor in my church now where I belong, but I haven't been able to go there at the moment. So anyway, but the trouble is, see, yeah, thank you for that information. That blew me right back on thinking, wow, how do but sometimes when you got to admit, or when people do go to these meetings, so how do you kind of what can I say? So you got a meeting, they book a hall wherever it is, and people go along, and they sit down, and all of a sudden they're public. And how do you start a meeting? Do you ask the spirits to come upon you?
Now every medium's different. I've got guides that work with me, and they know when I'm working, so I don't have to ask them. Right, you're here. Come on, let's get a job done. We're two people that work together. Difference is, you can see me, you can't see him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like two people that work together on a building site or in a restaurant or whatever. We're two people that work together, and that's it. We're a team. And when we go to work, when we go to these venues, whether it be a church, a club, a theatre, whatever, we work together. He helps fetch them through. I pass it on. Simple as that. All I am is a conduit for them.
Yeah.
When they step forward, Stephen will bring them forward. He'll say, right, next one. We'll have a young lady coming forward or a young gentleman coming forward or whatever. And I say young because when we get the spirit, we're all young. Okay. Might have passed 110 years old, but I always say youngs, the young gentleman. Right? Okay. Because to me, life's eternal. And if life's eternal, then 110 years old is very young.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Stephen will fetch him forward and we'll have a chat. And Stephen will sometimes give me information. They'll give me information and they'll tell me where I'm going to. It's very, very rare. I don't know where I'm going to. 99.9% of the time, I know where I'm going to. Right. I know who I need to talk to.
When you got a message, say like you got a message for like your mum, say there's a girl in the audience and it's their mum or their father. And do you ever get them say, please don't go, I want to carry on speaking to my mum? Do you ever get that?
Sometimes get that from spirit.
Yeah.
Sometimes get spirit that don't want to leave. They've waited that long to come through to talk to the daughter, for example. They don't want to leave. And we have to tell them to back off a little bit, take a step back, because there's other people want to speak to their relatives.
Right.
Sometimes we get them coming through where they try and push it front of queue, which is quite funny. Seriously. Or you get two coming through.
What's the biggest thing you ever done then? What's the biggest I know you're not allowed to tell me any messages, but what's the biggest thing that you ever done to give somebody a message?
The biggest thing? What do you mean?
Well, like say I remember a while back in Australia, one of the prime minister, the minister over there, was told by a medium that he was, he something was going to happen, and he didn't believe it, and next minute, it happened.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes. That takes me back to a little beach tour I did in Sheffield. Did it about 3.5 years ago. I'm booked there again soon. I've been doing it ever since. I went to a lady in the audience, and I've been made aware that there's a baby on its way, and that somebody's wanting a baby, and I feel it's you that's wanting a baby, which was confusing because this lady was in her 70s. Okay. Anyway, she says, "There better not be. The granddaughter's only 16." I thought, fair enough. Brian, being made aware there's a baby on the way. Anyway, she says, "No, there isn't." Okay, fair enough. I left it at that. I said, "Just remember I've said that." We carried on with messages. She took everything else I gave her. And then about 3.5 months later, I saw her down the street. And she collared me. And it was only by chance because I was going to see a friend who works in a shop in the same area. She collared me. I said, "I want a word with you." I says, "Yes. Remember that message you gave me?" I went, "No." She says, "About a baby." I'm thinking, hang on a minute, where were you? We were at the bee stop. Right, I've got you. I says, "Yeah, go on." She says, "My granddaughter's only 16 and she's pregnant." I says, "Whoa, it's not mine." So, yeah. I mean, I could tell you funny stories. It's funny stories I do remember. But most of my messages, I haven't got a clue what I've said. But the funny ones I do remember. And one was a lady on a paranormal night. And when we do the paranormal nights, we do some mediumship before we start. And there was a lady sat there, big lady, sat there like that, arms crossed, face as long as a fiddle. I says, "Can I come to you?" "Yeah, if you want." That kind of attitude. And that's what she said. "Yeah, if you want." I gave her name of a grandfather. Yeah, everybody's got one of them. So I said, "Right, how many have got a name? This name." Only 2 people put their hand up. I did get a bit more information. "Yeah, anybody can do that. Anybody can take that." And I says, "Hang on a minute, I've got 4 numbers for you." And I get her these 4 numbers. And her jaw dropped. And I've got a room full of people and another medium that can verify this. Her jaw dropped. She says, "That's the number to me safe." The other medium shouted from behind me, "Can you ask them where it is?" So yeah, sometimes, yeah. So I'd say that these are stories that can be verified that I'm telling you. But sometimes we do get that information that really pushes it home to somebody that's there for not the right reasons, if you like.
Yeah.
But yet spirit want to come across.
So what happens then? What happens then if they don't want to hear it? They come for the wrong reason, and they just kind of like.
If they actually say they don't want a message, then they don't get one. We ask their spirit friends to back off, take a step back. If we get somebody come through that they don't want to speak to, but they want a message, we'll ask that person to step back and ask if there's somebody else that can step forward.
Right.
Everything's done with the utmost respect.
Right. Everything. Okay. Do you, when you kind of like going around in wherever you go, all these places and stuff like that, do you ever get people come in and sometimes and cause havoc, say, "Oh, I don't believe in that, and I don't believe in this," your bow,
No, I did a club event in Sheffield, a big club. It was there's about 250 people in there, and there was a few skeptics in there. You could tell that. You could tell that some have been dragged along by their friends for a night out, this, that, and the other. I hadn't got the goatee at the time. I was clean shaven, top and bottom, and you could tell this young lady was a skeptic as soon as she opened her mouth, because as soon as I walked on stage, I got a blue suit on, white shirt, glasses on. She went, "It's Harry Enfield." From that night, from that moment on, I knew I was going to have trouble with her. By the middle of the evening, I'd shut her up.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, a friend said I'd scared her half to death, but that's what
Do
you
you
know.
get
So
kind of? Do you ever get messages that are so important that you need to tell somebody in a higher authority? Say
no,
no.
I
Can
am the
that be
highest.
done? Can that be done though?
No, as the medium that's received the message, I am the highest authority to give it. Otherwise, Spirit wouldn't have given it to me to pass on.
Right. Okay.
And
So
that goes for
say
every medium.
say like how can I say it? In the Bible it says about visions, doesn't it? You know about that we get. You know we can get visions
Hmm.
of what's going to happen in the future. Things yeah.
Yeah,
Now, if someone came to, if like a spirit came to you and say, right, Adrian, something's going to happen. We're going to have a, I don't know, say they, say COVID, right?
hmm.
Which COVID's going to, we are going to have COVID next week. Just say that in the beginning of it,
Yeah.
right? And that spirit saying to you, right, you got to go to the authorities and tell them that.
That sort of thing we won't bother with because I mean we did have messages about the COVID. Well, that we can relate to the COVID is what I say. A lot of mediums are giving messages where there's a lot of changes coming. There's going to be a lot of people out of work, and there's going to
Right.
be a lot of job changes. We didn't know it was going to be a disease or anything like that, or a virus or anything. All we knew was there was big changes coming, and there was also a massive energy shift. Now, if we get information where there's a body, then it's up to us as to whether we do tell the authorities or not. Because what you've also got to understand is some authorities are very skeptic.
Yeah.
You know, and
But also, some authorities, they do use mediums, don't they?
that's right. Yeah, I had a phone call about 10 months ago. An old lady had gone missing, and I was asked by a friend who'd got a friend in the police if I could work out where she was. And I said, all I'm seeing is there's a track with trees on the left-hand side. At the end of the track, there's water. I feel that's where she is. I don't know if she's in the water or on the side of the water, but that's where she is. Apparently, she was in the water.
Gosh.
But I was asked if I could link in for that information. I've got a friend who actually found a young boy that had drowned in a lake up in Canada, and he was in Rochdale.
Gosh.
You know, so it does happen. It does happen.
Mm. Get on to the cheery for stuff about it. Is you must kind of like when you do your mediumships and everything. Um, do you ever go around? Do anybody famous like stars and stuff like that?
I haven't personally, no.
No.
Though I have worked with stars before
Yeah. Yeah.
in the restaurant trade. There's been a few stars I've served meals for on functions. I've known stars coming for on a regular once a month for the dinner with the family.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, stars not stars. It doesn't matter the people.
Yeah.
You know,
Now, now, a couple of last questions I need to ask you. Um, which I don't really want to, but I will.
go for it.
Right. Okay. Here we go. So, um, Derek Acora, before he died,
Yes.
lovely bloke,
Yeah.
but
I believe.
yeah, lovely bloke. But I think he was a bit dubious with his spirit thing. Do you agree?
I don't think he was dubious. I think he was wary because of the way he'd been stitched up a few years earlier.
Right.
Okay.
Well, on
Uh,
the most haunted, wasn't it?
yes.
Do
And I
you
do
think that
feel
is?
that Derek. I've spoke to Derek a couple of times. I spoke to his wife more because it's normally through his wife that we speak to. I used to speak to him. Uh, he's a lovely man, and he became an amazing medium. Since the most haunted, he's kind of took a step back from what I feel, but he came back stronger and better than he ever was. You know,
Mm,
uh, and he was a nice bloke. He was a really nice bloke. In fact, both him and his wife were really lovely.
mm.
So
Yeah. Do you think? Do you think that the the most haunted is a bit of a fake show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so do
It's
I.
got to be. It's entertainment at the end of the day. They have to have an entertainment worth.
Mm,
They've got to keep the entertainment going.
mm,
You know, I mean, we've done a couple of places with a paranormal team I work with that most haunted have done. There isn't as much action there as what they made out there was. Other
yeah.
teams have verified that. You know, I've got a friend that used to help with the primary investigation before they televised it for most haunted. You know, and yeah, it's not as none of them are. They have to have their entertainment value, or they don't work.
Mm.
You know,
But isn't that kind of like respecting the spirits that are there?
yeah, yeah, it is. It is disrespectful. One thing that most haunted did, which is an amazing thing, is the fact that they started the paranormal investigators world off on the way it is now. And there's
Mm.
that many teams coming up now. The only problem with that is a lot of the teams are really good teams, and they're very courteous to spirit. They're very respectful of spirit, but there are a few teams out there, a couple of teams out there that aren't,
Yeah.
and they
Uh,
do cause problems.
yeah. Yeah. Now I know. I'm a sort of I don't like judging people, but a while back I was invited to go to Leamington Spa
Right?
and to take part. This is about a few years ago now. To take part um, in a kind of like you know looking for spirits and everything to get with
Yeah.
a paranormal team
Mhm.
in Leamington Spa,
Yeah.
and you know I then then I was told that there was something happening and things like that, and it was not what they're supposed to be. The trouble is with these teams these days, so you've got to be so careful because they make their own kind of, as you say, they just make their own stories up to kind of like get audiences and stuff, which is totally wrong. Do you reckon
Yeah.
so?
Yeah. It is wrong if they're making things up. I only work with teams that have got the public there as well
Right.
on the investigation.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't work with teams that, as a rule, that are only there to video it and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. You
You
know what
see,
I'm on
when you
about? Do you know what I'm on about?
no, I don't, not offhand. All
No.
I'll say is this: that if you've got the public on the investigation with you, then the public are the people that say whether you're a good team or not. It's the public that gives
Mm,
you
mm,
testimonials. If you're disrespectful or if you're making things up, the public will be the first to grass you up.
yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
that's why I like working with the public.
Yeah. Yeah. It's better, isn't it?
Which team is it? Most haunted again.
No, it was what? What was his name again, Joe? In Leamington Spa. That ghost people I was invited to go along in Leamington Spa. Was it Derek? Derek? Oh, what was his name? Um, sorry, Richard. No, that's not that one. He banned me from his page. Anyway, yeah. So what happened was I was offered to go along to this place, and I can't remember his name. Something Ghost or something. I can't remember what his name. But
There's that many out there.
yeah, he lives in Leamington Spa. And he used to work at the train station. I don't know still, you know. But anyway, but I found out later on that he was a bit bogus and whatnot. So I didn't really want to get involved in that and everything. So you
Mm.
know, it's kind of like it was a bit when I was in the media. That's I was in the media and I was asked to go along, but I didn't. You know, I yeah no, not for me,
No,
thanks. But he banned me
See-
because I caught him out on something. He banned me from the page.
Yeah, I can believe it. I mean, where is
Honestly,
Leamington Spa? That's south of Watford, isn't it? South of Watford Gap.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
That's it, mate. I'm a northerner, not a southerner.
I think so. I think so. I tell you what. Oh, I tell you. I tell you what actually happened is it's the bar. They were in this pub, right?
Hmm.
And all of a sudden, this glass shot thingy, and went
Yeah.
along the bar, went shoof like that, right?
Hmm.
But what you didn't see is right that the camera was focused on the actual glass, and quickly the glass shot off. Um, this bloke got his hand, pull it down quick, and the glass just went, and the other glass went off the bar, and it started lifting.
Right.
Right? What it was, this bloke, or one of the blokes, you can't see him, but he was underneath the bar, and he just lifted his glass up. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, honestly,
That is bad. That is really bad.
that is loads. Yeah, oh yeah. And they were in a séance. They were having this séance type thing, and they had this little magnet under the wood thing, right? And they were moving the glass with this, you know.
That's bad.
Oh yeah,
That is
yeah.
really bad.
Honestly, yeah, yeah. And
That's the sort of thing that gives us all a bad name,
yeah, yeah. Well, there you go.
you know.
But yeah, yeah.
But yeah, if they'd have put that on YouTube, they'd have got thousands of views.
Yeah. Well,
You know, people watching it,
well, that's the trouble, though, isn't it?
and that's
People
why they
kind of
do it.
like people go for that, oh, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Just the last thing to ask you is this: so when you have your meetings, how do you close the meeting? Because the trouble is, these spirits will go on and on and on, giving out information, won't they?
right, spirit know when they've got to clear off. In a church, it's an opening prayer, closing prayer.
Right.
On a club night or anything like that, I don't do an opening prayer. I talk for a little bit, tell them what I do. While I'm telling them what to do, they're coming forward. End of the night, I says, right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your week or your weekend, wherever, and have a really good night. My cards are on the table. That way, spirit know also that we're finished.
Now I'm going to tell your spirit. Have a good night. And
Thank you,
thanks
sir.
very much for joining me. Okay.
You too, my friend.
Stay
Have a
there.
good one.
Thank you
All right.
very much. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. Don't forget, we're going to be back for more tomorrow. We've got Warren Pickup tomorrow talking about all things mental health. And we got quite a lot of other guests coming up too. I can't remember by art, but we get, please, please. We only got 1 week left in June to fill up. So if anybody's listening at the moment and they want to come on, then please do contact us because we're just about to go into July now with all our bookings. So there you go, guys. I will see you later on, and good night and God bless.
Good night, guys.
Bye.
Good night. Bye-bye, Steve. Thank you.